So there's the arguments that happen when there's managers yelling at an umpire yelling back. Then there's the ejection that comes from an umpire staring at a player while he massages his hand. That happened yesterday at the end of our show. We saw this video right before we went off the air. First base umpire Dan Bellino checking the left hand of Madison Bumgarner, who gave up a run in the bottom of the first inning in Miami yesterday and was barking at the home plate umpire. And the first base umpire is the one in charge of checking his hand. He's just touching his hand and staring at Bumgarner, who's looking down at his hand until Bumgarner looks up and sees the umpire staring at him while he's massaging his hand. And Bumgarner said the magic word and Bellino ejected him. And two things about this. First, an apology, because we told everybody about this at the end of the show, and we said, please Google it. So if you Googled Madison video yesterday, we apologize if you found something else. Number two is after the game. I said at the end of the show yesterday, in addition to saying Google Madison video, that in addition to that, I said after. I said don't. I said afterwards. Dan Bellino is going to have to say something after the game. He's going to have to talk about it. After the game, what's he going to say? Like, he's got to at least explain, like, why he was staring at Bumgarner and not looking at the hand he's inspecting, which is his job to do. And all he said after the game was, quote, there really wasn't a conversation there, as the report will note, because they have to make a report for the Major League Baseball commissioner that will release it. Well, there really wasn't a conversation there, as the report will note. Yeah, that's the point. He just made some inappropriate comments and was removed from the game. How about your stare was inappropriate? And it gives off the impression that you have an agenda, which is the worst thing for an umpire to give off as an impression. And it's even worse that he's just like, yeah, I'm not going to even explain to you what I was doing, touching his fingers and looking at him until he would meet my gaze. And then actually, I don't even know what he told the umpire, but if my job was dependent on somebody else checking my hand, and as they're checking my hand and staring at me, eager to elicit a reaction, and I say something that causes me to be ejected, I would basically counter and saying, actually, what I said is extremely appropriate. You're the inappropriate one. Who's inappropriate, me or you? It's appropriate to tell you the magic word. What are you doing? What's inappropriate is you not explaining what you're doing, staring at a guy while you're touching his hand. That's the inappropriate thing. What's appropriate is you describing your actions. Dan Bellino. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.